GameCube emulation is amazing. It's really hard to say anything bad about it. It's kind of like witnessing a kangaroo turn an Airbnb into a Dairy Queen. It just has this mystique to it, this lore, this feeling inside your body that you just know it is very good as soon as you play it for maybe 5 minutes. What a time to be alive. Honestly, like, what a time to exist on this planet where just everything regarding, not everything obviously, some things, even maybe more than some, where anything to do with an older console or something is just amazing. For someone like myself, it just makes some type of happiness creep into my veins, because at this point in time, I'm dying for happiness. This is one of the consoles I remember the most just in my life, really. Like, at this point in time, I just probably said this a million times at this point, but at this point in time in my life, I'm not really dying to play any Nintendo console. Like a new one, not obviously GameCube or anything like that. Any, like the Switch, like when the Switch 2 came out, I just didn't even really, there was just really nothing inside me that could excite me to even want to get that. I don't know what's going on with myself anymore, because usually, I don't know, it's hard to explain, kind of. I just feel like at this point in time, anything to do with Nintendo or yeah, that's it. Some of the classics, obviously, still, but anything new Nintendo, I'm just kind of passing on. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because the last time I discussed anything related to GameCube emulation, there were many things I just had no clue about. So it's time to sit down. It's time to grab the extra buttery popcorn and play some GameCube. Because out of every Nintendo console, I don't know what it is, but that one just feels the most fun to play now. What are you doing? Playing GameCube? What? You can play GameCube on your phone. Yes. Yeah, but where does the game go? Like, where do you put the disc? You can't just get like your games and then
It's not.
put it in like your phone or something, right? Like you have to
It's not
get
like
the
that.
game. It just seems like that's not if you don't have the,
No, you have to.
there's no game, then you can't.
I don't want to have to sit here and explain it. You can't. I'm sitting here doing it right now, like you're watching me right now play. I don't know. Do you think I'm lying to you or something? Like it's on my screen right now, and you're looking right at my screen. I don't. Why are you eating a bag of croutons?
Mind your business. I am absolutely an idiot. And where an idiot stands is where idiot things take place. I was just thinking this when I was playing the Dolphin emulator again, because I just started to clue into the fact that many things that I was maybe even talking about before, I was just not aware of. Like, there was a lot of things, actually, that I didn't know even really existed inside this. It wasn't really anything that I don't know. It's just move the hell on, all right? Just get going. Shut up. I have actually witnessed myself learning things, and that's very rare. There were certain things inside this emulator, like game patches or cheats, that I didn't really even take into account, to be honest with you, when I was first playing there just a couple of times ago, whenever that was. It makes everything a lot better when you can actually get this looking really crispy, like a nice toasted cream cheese bagel or something. When you get it like that, this really makes it a lot better. Why play GameCube in 2025? Well, to be honest with you, everything about the games you won't regret playing. God, I don't think that made sense either. But if you talk about Nintendo GameCube games, you're going to talk about greatness. And the Dolphin emulator itself is really going to make these games stand out even more. The compatibility will almost have you falling out of your chair because it's so impressive. Like when you have a perfect category, and not only when you have a perfect category present, when you have one with this number, playing GameCube is already amazing, but when you can also play it on your Android device, when you can play it on your laptop, It's awesome. You don't really need like the craziest laptop either. I don't have really a good one at all, and I've been able to play some games on this quite fine. It's not like or that obviously makes sense. You can't play like PS3 games on it or something. Like the damn thing would combust into smoke. It's just nice to have options, right? Like you can just pull out your cellular device after it pisses you off all day. You're just getting spam calls nonstop, text messages, emails telling you to click on these random links from like this company you've never heard of before. What the hell is happening? Let's set this masterpiece up, because that's what it is. Dolphin is very simple. It's very straightforward. There's nothing really confusing about it. Hopefully I'll be smart enough to remember to put the links in the description. Before any of this begins, let's get this out of the way. If you want to be able to get games on this, and if you want to be able to do this where you can get them on your Android or your PC, there is a way to do this the right way. I do not condone and would never, I would never condone doing anything that has to do with something illegal. Okay? Nintendo can take it and shove it right up their ass if you want to talk about doing anything like that. Never would I condone that. I should also mention that I'm no professional. I have no idea what's going on half the time. I'm sure most people know this at this point anyway, because at this point in time, if you have a console from this generation or around this era, it's probably something where you're like trying to modify it or just do something that you can make it better than what it already was. So the way I did this is I did the save game exploit, and I did a video on this a couple of months ago. Kind of break it down, I guess, is you get a game, one that's compatible with doing this. You have to get this memory card with a hacked game save file on it, and then this thing will be able to launch on your GameCube called Swiss. And then you can also get this file on it where you can like rip your games on the system. And then this is where it gets good, because once you do rip your games on this, you can also transfer it back to your computer with a micro SD. And then once you get it back on your computer, you can have it just sitting on your computer right there, I guess. Yeah. And then put it on the Dolphin emulator. And the good thing about the Dolphin emulator as well is if you do want to convert the file, you can do it with this. This does everything for you, apparently. And I do believe, I think, there are many ways to do, or a couple of other ones, I'm not really sure. Like, you can go through an entire process to, like, mod your GameCube, and then you can launch Swiss that way. So there are multiple ways you can probably get this on your GameCube. This is just the way I did it. I'm not really sure if this was like the cheapest. I don't think this was like the cheapest way to do it. It was just the way I wanted to do something to my GameCube where I didn't have to like solder anything. Because if I'm doing that, I am crumbling to pieces. Okay? I can't do that. If you're interested in doing this, or if you're just interested in possible ways to make your GameCube even better, if you just honestly went to YouTube and searched up how to like mod your GameCube or something, there are plenty of videos you can find of people way smarter than me who are doing things like this often, or just maybe, I don't know why. Why I say often? Maybe sometimes people are doing this, so then there's also information about that. This was just what I'm doing because this is specific to this where it's involving dumping games. Very, very good thing about this is once you do select the file with everything in it, all of your games are inside, they're ready to go, they should just download the cover art automatically. Honestly, if you are playing on a low-end laptop or just anything that's probably not like insane or something, it's probably the best to not raise like the resolution that high. But if you do have something insane that's just like bubbling in your room because it's so powerful, you can raise this to whatever you want, basically. I have a 1440p monitor, so I'm just going to keep it at that. And that seems beyond crispy. Like, I can't even imagine anything where it would look better than this. Does 8K even exist? This honestly should have been mentioned like a long time ago at this point, but you can check out the compatibility list, and that is very important. Although this kind of is like PCSX2, if not a lot better, to be honest with you, that it's really rare to find a game that doesn't work the greatest on this. It is rare. It's crazy to think about, actually, that you will probably have a hard time trying to find a game that does not work on this, which is amazing. But it will show you regardless if you're looking for a specific one. I'm also able to put all these games on a nice SSD, because if you have a lot of them, that can take up quite a bit of space. Now, GameCube games, especially if you have them in the RVZ format, they don't take up like the craziest amount. I guess just, yeah, they just don't take up a lot of space. So it's not something where it's like you have a PlayStation 3 game on your PC or something like that, which I have no idea how you do it. I just said that randomly. But if you did, it'd probably take up, Jesus, even over 10 gigabytes sometimes, maybe even close to 20. This is a 1 terabyte SSD. So I have no idea how many games you could possibly fit on this, just add a bunch of GameCube games. Now, Nintendo Wii games are a lot larger, or at least some of them are, that are just compared to the GameCube. That can take up a decent amount of space if you need to get some of those on this as well or something. But that's just something that's, I personally find very, very good about situations like this, because I don't really want to put all of my games on my main hard drive or something. I believe I already mentioned this, but this is actually very important because there are quite a few games that I played, and there might even be just in general a lot, that you do need to maybe activate some cheats or patches. I think the most important one I was using was the widescreen patch or cheat. This one's very important. At least I thought so. It should be mentioned as well that there may even be an occasion sometimes where the game has an option inside of it to actually change the display to widescreen. I think there was even many other options. I forget what game it was. It may have been Mario Power Tennis, where you could like unlock every character or something. So there's other things you can do with it. It's not just actually making things like this possible. There's probably many other ones that are very important. This was just the one I was personally interested in, because some games were looking a little bit sketchy in widescreen if you didn't have this on. This is random and weird, but I thought this was kind of cool still. You can even just right-click on the game and then go to like the Dolphin wiki page, and it will tell you a little bit about the game and everything. So, you know, if you just were interested in knowing more about it or something, or just certain things inside the emulator itself, or just things in general, it will tell you. And it's like, what? This emulator does so many things well. It'll even give you like a brief description paragraph or something if you just hover over a setting. Like if you're not really sure what the hell a specific setting means or something, you can just hover the cursor over it, and it will let you know what's going on, basically. There's really just so many things inside this emulator itself that make you feel very good about yourself. Like you almost feel like dancing like a fool to a Nelly Furtado and Timbaland song or something. Just like a damn idiot. This emulator goes harder than the violin player in Yellow Card. It does so many things right. It does like things you didn't even know really existed. Like this is what I was talking about earlier. And that is a big deal too. It doesn't seem like it might be, because at this point in time, you probably have like a monitor or something. You probably have a nice HD TV in your living room or basement, wherever you're sitting. And you want to be able to do everything in 16:9. And that's not what it was like growing up. I remember I had this like small box ass TV. I not even joking. It may have been like 15 inches. It was basically the size of a salami and mustard sandwich. It was just this box spherical object. I swear sometimes it like started smoking. That was not what we had back then. That was not an option. So these days, to be able to play these games in widescreen, high definition, man, this is living. So I think I mentioned as well that I haven't really played any Nintendo Wii, at least growing up. I have recently because I was for this, but really at any point in my life before this, I don't even know if I've really looked at more than 5 Wii games in my life. I actually watched a video where you can get a sensor bar on like Amazon or eBay or something that you can set up. It's not even the Nintendo one, I don't think. You can play some games with any controller you want, I think. I was playing GoldenEye 007 with just the normal controller I use for almost everything. Because out of the many games I attempted, I did try to play a lot. I think Super Smash Bros. Brawl and, what was the other one? There was a couple of games I played. I don't remember. I played a couple of games where you didn't need the actual, like, Wii Remote nunchuck or something, so there is an option for that. And unfortunately, if there's one downside to this, even though it's not even really a downside, it's just like an extra step, you do need to configure your controller. Not just the Wii Remote, like in general. If you want to be able to use this, all you need to do is just press the button, and whatever button you want to map to that one that it's giving you the choice for, you just pick it. Honestly, that might be the only extra step you need to take, because once you do configure the settings, you have everything you need to be able to experience GameCube in high definition. Out of the many things that I've done in my life, it's really hard to grasp the fact that I'm able to play some of my favorite consoles of all time growing up and just still now. Still, it's weird, man. It is. It's very strange that for some reason I just can't get into any Nintendo console but GameCube. I was actually going to do something related to Nintendo 64 at one point, but I was playing some of those games and I was just like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this. I just couldn't get into it. I could not sit there for many hours and just feel like what I'm doing is making me a happier person. There's nothing that goes on in my brain other than happiness when I play GameCube, and that's going to be the only Nintendo console that I probably ever feel like that again about. It just depends. Right? It just depends on like when you grew up, what situation you went through, maybe when you had a console. There was just something about sitting in my room, hiding from my mom as she got home from work, and listening to dishes frisbee across the kitchen as I was trying to hit a nice special in Tony Hawk's Underground or something. As I was trying to complete tasks in Super Mario Sunshine. Dishes shattering. You'd almost have to avoid one rocketing through the door and ricocheting into your skull if you wanted to be able to play GameCube normally. But that was my piece. My piece from the ricocheting plates was Nintendo GameCube. And other consoles too, but that was one of them. This was the first console I think I ever had in my room, dedicated in my room. Like I asked for it for Christmas or something. I was able to luckily get it. That was like the happiest day of my life because instead of fighting with my brother to play the PlayStation 2 in the basement, I finally was able to sit in my room in peace, or I guess as much peace as possible if you're listening to chaos go on downstairs or something, but this was the peace. I absolutely loved playing 1080 Avalanche. That game is just awesome. Super Smash Bros, of course, that's just a classic. Nothing bad about that. There's a lot of GameCube games, honestly, man. I think I said this one of the last videos I did, that Super Mario Strikers is incredible. At the time, at least, it's almost hard to find a GameCube exclusive. They may be on different consoles now and everything, but at the time, when GameCube came out, it's hard to find like a dedicated GameCube exclusive that's terrible. At least out of the many I played a lot. I tried to play as many GameCube, like the ones that were labeled only for GameCube on the top left. I tried to play a lot of those, and it was hard to find one that I just didn't even want to play. It's special. And honestly, the people over there making the Dolphin emulator better by the day, shout out to you. This is amazing. I'll never know how people do this stuff. I have no idea how people are so talented and smart that they figure these things out and you're able to do things like this and just making it better by the day. There's like a bubble in my mouth or something. Hopefully you didn't see that. I look like a monster. But what was I don't know what I was saying. Damn it. I don't know. I think I was wrapping it up anyway. I was just trying to talk about games I liked. I'm probably going to forget one. Of course, once I click end on the recording, I'll probably remember a bunch of things I was going to say. Have a nice night.